Hey everyone, this is Mario again, coming at you with another movie review. Today I'm reviewing a more recent movie that came out earlier this year. I'll have to say that when I first heard about this movie and I saw the trailers and stuff, I had no hope for it because it is another found footage movie. But I have to say, after giving it a watch, I have to say out of all the found footage movies that have been made since the Blair Witch Project, this is actually one that takes the genre, at least for me, a step in the right direction. Because you guys all know, even though I haven't seen every one of them, my good buddy Matt has, and every single one of these movies has the same freaking ending. Oh my god, something's gonna happen! And fall over. But this one does not have that ending, so it does not have that problem. And it also uses the genre a little creatively. Now, of course, the movie I'm talking about is Chronicle, the sci-fi film directed by Josh Trank. I don't know if that's a tank. Josh Trank. And starring Dane DeHaan, Alex Russell, Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, they have to put the B in there or you get confused. Michael Kelly and Ashley Hinshaw. Shaw. Now, the movie was distributed by 20th Century Fox. Now, I bet you a lot of you are going to go, what? They actually released another good movie? Yeah. It seems that for every crappy movie, for like a couple crappy movies they always release a good movie. Usually it's a lower budget one too, so kind of funny. This movie only cost $15 million, which even 20 years ago that was a relatively low budget, but nowadays it's not as much. You can't do as much as you could then, but I could say that I could see a majority of that money up on the screen, like 85 to 90% of that money is up on the screen. The rest of it's probably for the budgets and stuff, but I could see that, and it made $126 million. I'd say deservedly so. And I have to say, I kind of wish I had taken the plunge and seen this movie in theaters, but too late now. But I have to say, you guys can tell I like the film, and I do believe I saw the director's cut, which I can't really just tell the differences, but I was like, director's cut, I'll give that a watch. Now, the plot is that the movie takes place in Seattle, and we're first introduced to one of our main characters named Andrew, who starts videotaping his life. As we find out in the first few scenes, he has a crappy home life. His mother is dying from cancer slowly. His father is a former firefighter turned alcoholic who just sits home and collects insurance money. And to add to it, he is verbally and physically abusive. Which, the moment I saw that, I'm like, yeah, try that. If you had tried that with me, punk, you'd have had a broken face. Yeah, anyway, at school, Andrew is also unpopular and he's frequently bullied. One night, his cousin Matt invites him to a rave to help him meet new people. But as he films, he angers an attendee, and of course, he leaves because he doesn't want to start any more crap. Outside, he's approached by both his cousin Matt and Steve, who is a popular student. And of course, they persuade him to help them record something they found in the woods. Yeah, that's something you always do when you're in high school. Persuade someone to film something you found in the woods. But anyway, they find a hole in the ground, and a strange noise is coming from it. The three enter, and they discover this weird crystalline structure that kind of seems to be floating, but it's kind of hard to tell because of the light. As Andrew records, one of them touches it, and the object begins to glow. And it kind of looks like it has like veins coming in it. They kind of pulsate a little bit, but so they start to have nosebleeds and pain. They cut out, and weeks later Andrew is recording them displaying telekinetic powers, and it seems that the crystal gave them to him. They decide to return to the hole to see exactly what happened, but the hole has collapsed, and also it seems that some rangers are going to cordon off the area. That's our hint that probably the government knows something's there, so they're going to go take it and look for themselves. Isn't that like the government? Anyway, they begin to get more powerful as they train it. As Matt theorizes, it probably is like their powers are probably like a muscle that becomes stronger with each use. And as of course we see in that one trailer, one of them goes too far and knocks a guy off the road, so they decide to have rules and decide not to use them negatively against people. You know, like using as a bear to scare kids. That's basically the farthest they can go. But as you can already tell from this setup, one of them, Andrew, is probably going to be built hardwired to kind of start abusing the powers just because he can and he doesn't want people to treat him like crap anymore. And without giving any spoilers away, that's kind of where the conflict of the movie comes from. It's from Andrew button heads with both Matt and Steve. I can explain how, but let's just say it comes to fruition at the end, and it does not have a negative ending because not all the characters die. That's not all I'm saying, but before I saw the movie, I heard they were thinking of making a sequel, and after seeing the ending, I could see probably why they would. But just think of it, if they did a sequel, it'd be kind of, to me, it'd be kind of like Hancock a little bit. Yeah, first-person view of Hancock. But I guess if they do a sequel, I just hope it doesn't destroy the value of this movie. But anyway, this movie got mostly positive reviews. I mean, on Rotten Tomatoes, it says on Wikipedia when the article was written at 85, so I went to IMDb. IMDb is at 7.1. I have to more or less agree with that, but I went to check Rotten Tomatoes. I clicked on the Internet Movie Database by mistake. Isn't that the way of things? You click the wrong site or the site does not want to open. Chronicle. It's almost open. Oh, skip this ad. I hate having to skip this ad. It's just like having to sign an agreement with iTunes each time you update. You have signed many agreements with iTunes. 86%. Oh, it went up a percent with the critics. 86% with the critics and a 17% with the audience. So more or less, the critics and the audience more or less agree about this movie, which I'm kind of happy to see it gets a high mark like that. And of course, yeah, that had some additional footage. Okay, I think that's one of the new scenes. Anyway, one of the few negative reviews the movie was given was by Andrew Sinker of Slant Magazine. He gave it a 2 out of 4, and this is what he said about it. Offers up nothing more than a tired morality play about the dangers of power, rehashing stale insights about the narcissism of the documentary impulse. I don't think there's anything negative about doing that. Because you guys know there's nothing really original in film anymore. Everything, and stories anyway, everything has at least been done before, so everything just inspires some. So using the found footage film in this way, I think is kind of creative. And also the morality thing, going with a superhero power thing. You kind of have to bring that in, because you know, if you just inherit powers out of nowhere, you're going to have to think about how you're going to use them. You know, the whole Spider-Man thing, with great power comes great responsibility. So I don't mind that. It adds kind of a drama thing. Now, the acting, I won't say this is Oscar caliber acting, but I have to say that Dane, Michael, and Alex did pretty good jobs acting as the main characters, you know, acting like they actually had these powers, acting like the conflict all between them. Very well done. Michael Kelly as Andrew's father, whenever the scenes he's in, he kind of steals the show for a little bit. He doesn't really, not in a bad way where he calls attention too much to himself, but you really do buy him as a drunk man who basically just abuses his son and blames him for everything. Because at one point he finds the new $500 camera his son has, and he gets all pissy about it, even though his son didn't spend the money on it. He's like, "Your mother's died and there are cancer, and you spending $500 on cameras." And then he's all going on a big old rant. "I spend my hard-earned money to send you to school, blah, blah. I go to a public school. You don't send me. You don't pay for public school." It's just stuff like that. That scene's kind of funny with that. I mean, granted, this is where that's where Andrew, you start to see something's wrong with him. But I have to say, I probably would have pushed the guy against the wall too, because he kind of deserved it. Ashley Henshaw as Casey. She does a very good job, even though she's kind of a minor character. She does a pretty good job for her role, and you see her relationship with Matt, actually, you believe it. The editing was done by Elliot Greenberg, and I have to say he did a pretty good job, because it's not only the camera point of view, like, you know, from Andrew's camera, but we also got a point of view shot from Casey's camera a couple times, and then other cameras like security cameras and other stuff. It just switches, police camera. So I have to say, with that, it works, and it's kind of interesting to see that, because not just one point of view. Let's see, who did the music? Oh, I don't think there was music that much, except for like background music. So, yeah. I want to see what else this Josh Trank directed, out of curiosity. If this is his directorial debut, I actually look forward to seeing what else he does in the future. But yeah, this was his directorial debut. He's doing a movie that's gonna be coming out in 2 years called The Red Star. Oh, he has been linked. He's been in talks to direct the Spider-Man spin-off Venom. He might do a good job with that. And according to this, he's one of the youngest directors in history to make the U.S. box office, to top the U.S. box office at the age of 27, followed by Spielberg at 28 with Jaws, Cameron at 30 with Terminator. Huh. And he also holds the record of being the youngest director to top the UK box office, with just his first movie. That's kind of cool. And apparently, according to this, he's also to be announced. He might also be the director of the Fantastic Four reboot in Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus. That's a video game, apparently. That might be interesting, but you guys all know the video game movies usually suck. Overall, what's my overall rating for the movie? Well, it's not a perfect movie, I will say. I mean, there might be a few minor things, like some of the side acting is not the best. Usually, for some of the teenage ones, except of course for our main characters. But no shaky cam that at least annoyed me. Some of the CGI is kind of obvious, but doesn't really take you out of the movie. There's one scene involving Legos. I want to know how they did it. Did they like the parts where it's supposed to be CGI Lego? Did they like erase the real Lego and then only put it in when necessary? That's something I want to know. But other than the obvious CGI, nothing really to point out. My rating for the movie is 4.5 out of 5 stars. If you have been disappointed by found footage movies in the past, or movies with that angle, I say give it a watch, because this movie you might actually enjoy.